Now how are we supposed to compile them? Again you use JavaC, but there's a slight difference when classes belong to a package. When classes belong to a package, you need to compile the classes with the -d option. So you need to say JavaC -d path and the Java file. That is, in order to compile class A, let us first assume the structure, how we want to place all the contents. Let's assume we have C drive root, under which we have work directory, let's say we have a test directory. Let's assume that under work directory, and we also have, let's say, Java source directory. Under Java source directory we have all the Java files that we have written. Under work directory you would like to create P1 package directory. Remember, packages are nothing but directories in our file system, and packages consist of related class files. So P1 has to be a directory if it is a package in our file system. So P1 directory, under that we will have a.class and b.class. We also have a subpackage P11 which is having C.class. Then let's assume under test we want to have P2 package with D.class. If this is the structure that we want to follow, let's see how to compile them. Let's assume that we are currently under Java source directory. So from there, if I have to issue the command to compile these classes into the appropriate directory structure here, then we have to say JavaC -d path, where to specify, where to place the package directory and its class file. So whenever classes belong to a package, you must always use the -d path, even if we are going to store the package directory under the current directory. So JavaC -d, in order to compile a.java file, a.java belongs to package P1, which comes under work directory. The path that you need to specify is to the parent directory where the package directory should exist. So since P1 should exist under work directory, we need to specify the path to the work directory, followed by a.java file. So now what happens is, the JavaC command, it checks whether under work directory there already exists a P1 directory. So you might have created a P1 directory yourself manually. So JavaC will check whether P1 directory already exists under the path specified. If so, it just compiles the a.java file into a a.class file and puts it under P1. If the P1 directory does not exist under work directory, then P1 directory is created, then a.class is compiled and placed under P1. Similarly, you need to compile the other files, JavaC -d c:\work directory b.java. In this case, the P1 directory is already created, so it just compiles b.java, puts it under P1. Now you want to compile c.java file. Now C belongs to P1.p11. P11 is a subdirectory of P1. Now what would you specify here? See, if you were to specify here as c:\work directory /P1, because it's under P1 we need to have P11, and under that C. What happens here is, if you say like this, now your C.Java says package p1.p11, and while compiling you are giving up till p1. So what it does is, it goes to p1, work directory p1, it checks whether p1 exists under that, and under that p11 exists. So what you need to do is, you need to specify the path only up till work directory. So now under work directory it checks, the compiler checks whether p1 directory is there. It is already there. Under p1 it checks whether p11 is there. If it is not there, it will create one. Otherwise it will just compile C.Java and put it under p11. Now that is compiled. Let's look at D.Java. D.Java belongs to a package P2, and P2 should exist under test. So you're going to specify test directory here with D.Java. So you got all the classes in the appropriate directories. Now you are ready to compile this particular code. Now if you were to say javac packtest.java, you get an error. Why do you get an error? Because the compiler will look for p1.a, p2.d, p1.b and p11.c. Now how does it know where to go find? To find a class file, the class path variable should be set with the path where the class files can be found. But we have not set that yet. So this command will end up giving you an error. So what you need to do is, before compiling packtest, set the class path where these classes can be found. So let's first set the class path. Say set class path is equal to, now when you are setting a class path for classes which belong to a package, you need to specify a class path up till the parent directory of the package directory, not for that of a class, because now these belong to a package. So set class path is equal to C:/work directory, because you have a package directory under work directory, also C:/test, plus you might want to set class path, or plus you might want to retain the class path which was already existing, so %class path %. Then compile the code. It compiles and puts packtest.class under Java source. Now to run this program, you just have to mention Java packtest . If by chance you get an error here, your class path is not set to find the packtest.class, in that case make sure you set the class path to the current directory as well. Now let's add on one more portion to this. Let's place this packtest itself in a package as well. So in that case you'll say package, let's call it as pack. Now before executing this program, because now this packtest belongs to a package, you need to compile this program as well with the -d option. Let's assume that we want to place packtest.class not under Java source, rather the package called pack not under Java source, rather under C drive itself, which will contain your packtest.class. So you need to specify -d c:/, then packtest.java.